Most people think Uber became successful because it created a taxi app. That's too shallow. Uber is not just a ride-hailing app. Uber is one of the strongest examples of how information systems can redesign an entire industry. In simple words, Uber did not win only by connecting drivers and riders. It won by building a system that collects data, matches supply with demand, processes payments, tracks locations, calculates prices, manages ratings, and makes transport feel almost instant. Think about what happens when you open Uber. You enter your destination. The system checks your location. It finds nearby drivers. It estimates the fare. It calculates arrival time. It shows the route. It processes payment. It tracks the ride. It stores the trip history. Then it asks for a rating. To the customer, this feels simple. Tap a button, get a ride. But behind the screen, a complete information system is working in real time. The first major system is Uber's matching system. This system connects riders with nearby drivers. It does not randomly select anyone. It looks at driver location, rider location, distance, availability, estimated arrival time, traffic, route, and demand in that area. That is the core of Uber's business. Before Uber, getting a taxi often depended on calling, waiting, negotiating, or standing on the road. Uber turned that messy process into a data-driven matching system. The second major system is Uber's GPS and location system. Location data is the backbone of Uber. The app needs to know where the rider is, where the driver is, where the destination is, which route is better, how long the trip may take, and whether traffic is changing. Without location tracking, Uber collapses. Because the entire customer experience depends on visibility. You can see the driver coming. The driver can see where to pick you up. The system can estimate time. The route can be tracked. The customer can feel more secure. That is not just convenience. That is information reducing uncertainty. The third major system is Uber's pricing system. Uber does not use one fixed price all the time. Prices can change based on distance, time, traffic, driver availability, rider demand, and market conditions. This is where surge pricing comes in. When demand is high and driver supply is low, prices may rise to attract more drivers and balance the system. Customers may hate it, but from an information systems perspective, it is a real-time response to supply and demand. The fourth system is Uber's payment system. Uber removed one major pain point from traditional taxis: payment friction. The customer does not need to negotiate cash, ask for change, or worry about payment at the end. The system calculates the fare, charges the payment method, records the transaction, and sends the receipt automatically. This is a transaction processing system working inside the Uber platform. Every ride creates data: fare, distance, driver, rider, time, rating, payment, and location history. That data later supports reports, fraud detection, customer service, driver performance, and business decisions. The fifth major system is Uber's rating and trust system. Uber does not own most of the cars. It does not employ every driver in the traditional way, so trust becomes a serious challenge. The rating system helps manage that trust. Riders rate drivers. Drivers rate riders. Complaints are recorded. Bad behavior can be flagged. Service quality becomes measurable. This does not make the system perfect, but it gives Uber a way to monitor millions of interactions without a human manager sitting in every car. The sixth system is Uber's business intelligence and analytics layer. Uber studies where demand is rising, which areas need more drivers, which routes are common, when peak hours happen, where cancellations occur, how long customers wait, and where pricing needs adjustment. This data helps Uber improve operations, expand into new markets, manage driver incentives, and understand customer behavior. But here's the catch. Uber's advantage is not one system. It is integration. GPS connects with matching. Matching connects with pricing. Pricing connects with payments. Payments connect with transactions. Transactions connect with ratings. Ratings connect with trust. Trust connects with customer retention. Customer behavior connects with future demand planning. That loop is the real engine. A competitor can build a taxi app, but building a reliable, real-time information system with location tracking, payments, pricing, driver networks, customer data, fraud detection, support, and analytics at scale is much harder. That is why Uber changed transport. Not because taxis did not exist before, but because Uber redesigned the information flow around transport. Before Uber, the customer often asked, "Where is the taxi? How much will it cost? Is the driver coming? Which route will they take? How do I pay? Can I trust this ride?" Uber's information system answered those questions through the app. But Uber is not perfect. There are serious issues too. Surge pricing can feel unfair during emergencies or high-demand periods. Driver earnings and working conditions are controversial. Location tracking creates privacy concerns. Algorithmic management can pressure drivers without human explanation. And when a platform becomes powerful, both drivers and customers can become dependent on its rules. That is the brutal truth. Information systems can create convenience, but they can also create control. Uber's system does not just help drivers and riders meet. It also decides visibility, pricing, route suggestions, incentives, ratings, and access to work. That is a lot of power sitting inside an algorithmic system. Today, Uber is becoming even more advanced with AI, automation, fraud detection, route optimization, demand forecasting, customer support automation, and delivery systems like Uber Eats. But again, AI is not the foundation. The foundation is the information system underneath. Location data, transaction data, driver data, rider behavior, pricing models, payment systems, ratings, and operational analytics. That is the main lesson. Uber did not simply digitize taxis. It rebuilt transportation as an information system. At the Learning Studio, the goal is simple: to understand Uber as a case study in information systems, not just as a ride-hailing company. Because every time you book a ride, you are not just calling a driver. You are triggering a chain of data. Location tracking, pricing, matching, payments, trust scores, customer behavior, and real-time decisions. And that is why Uber became powerful. Not by owning every car, but by controlling the information system that connects millions of riders and drivers.